Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you. It's Tuesday, and we're still in disbelief that our team is not in the playoffs. It's all good though, but Washington will be right there with us soon. Because they got a tough game the wild card weekend. They're playing Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay. I don't think Mike Evans is playing, but they got Antonio Brown. They got Ron Gronkowski. They got a whole slew of guys out there that can fit the bill for them, and of course they got TB12, Tom Brady. But speaking of that, like you look at our schedule for next year, we're going to be playing the AFC South and AFC West. So that means, of course, guys, we got the Cardinals, we got Tampa Bay, we got well, that's the NFC too, but we have the AFC as well. So, but we're playing Kansas City, the Broncos. So it's going to be some tough games next year. So hopefully we get everybody back and this team strengthens up and things get better. Now, as far as the coaching staff changes, I don't think this team is probably gonna. I mean, maybe they'll get rid of Mike Nolan. We don't know, but we could talk about different things. Now, there are going to be some things to talk about this offseason because a lot of stuff actually. Because when you think about it, um, what would the Cowboys do? What direction are they going to go into? As far as defense, are we going to stick with the 4-3, or are we going to get rid of some guys and switch to a 3-4, like what Mike Nolan does to basically help him out and how he likes to coach a defense? We don't know, but it's a lot of mystery out there, and that's the joy of being able to try to guess some of these things and take some educated guesses on some of these things, because I'm telling you right now, we don't know. We don't know. We do know that the Cowboys are picking 10th in the draft this year, so which is not a bad position. When I go back and look at it, you look at what the Cowboys need, right? We know that we need offensive tackle, right? We know that we need a guard. We know that everything else is on defense, because I feel like on offense, I think we're good. We got our wide receivers, and I think we're good with our tight ends. Think about it. We got Blake Jarwin, he'll be back. And then with Dalton Schultz taking up the starting job this year, the fact that he got to grow and maturate in this offense, I think that he's going to be even better next year, because he's got his confidence. You guys hear me talk about on this channel all the time about how much confidence is for these players, because again, with football, you can't get better unless you play. Joe Looney said it too. You cannot get better unless you're out there doing it. And that is the biggest thing with this offensive line. We've seen this makeshift offensive line this season with our third and fourth string guys out there starting. Cowboys now know they can look at these offensive line and be like, okay, well, we want this guy to come back next year. We want this guy to come back, or we could just let this guy go. They have a very good idea right now of what they want. I guess you look at this year, and I know some of you guys are like, oh, the year is a waste. We didn't go to the playoffs. It's not a waste. It's not a waste. There's a lot of positives that you could say within this year, even though we didn't go to the playoffs. Because like I said, one of the most important things being a lot of young guys got their starts. A lot of young guys, we got to see what they can do. So we can put our core together and we can figure out who's going to back up that core, because like Jason Garrett, you saw, would say next man up. But there's a caveat to that. It's a next man up, but if that next man is not good enough to step up, then he shouldn't be on your team. So if you have a backup player that can, at least provide you something that's not going to be a tremendous drop off, then you'll be good. Overall, Andy Dalton, he's had some rough patches, but he had some really good moments too. I think that he's a really good backup, probably one of the best backups in the league right now. I wouldn't mind having Andy Dalton back next year, but it's all contingent on what he wants to do. Does he want to come back? Because we know that this is Dak Prescott's team. Does he want to come back and be a backup? Because we know that Andy Dalton has said before that he does want to be a starter in this league again. He can have that opportunity with a couple of other teams in this league. He definitely can. For the right price, that is. Now, that's really on him. I know that Stephen Jones wants to see him come back. I do know that. But where can we go from here? As far as Dak Prescott goes himself, his recovery is doing well. what is his contract going to be like? Are they going to franchise tag him first so they can get a little bit of time until July to actually give him a contract? Who knows? That might be a way that they can do it just so they can get a cushion and a better timeline on what they want to do. Because I really think that Dak's agent is the one that really held up a lot of stuff with the contract discussion before. And, I understand that the agents got to do their job and the agents got to get money out of this too. But you don't want to keep pushing to the point where it causes animosity between the player and the team. You don't want to do that. And that's what DeMarcus Lawrence agent potentially was doing before. It came down to Stephen Jones calling DeMarcus Lawrence himself like, look, bruh, can you just come in here and let's talk about this, man, and just get this contract done so we can move forward and get out of here. Tyrone Crawford, who knows? Is he going to be here this year? Unless he takes a pay cut, I don't see Tyrone Crawford coming back. Now, there's definitely going to be some changes on the defense. I know a lot of you guys don't want to see Xavier Woods come back. Well, bye-bye. He might not come back. I would re-sign Jordan Lewis, Chidobe Awuzie. I know that Anthony Brown is still under contract for another 2 years, so we still have him. And you got Trayvon Diggs, so get you some guys in the later rounds, second, third, fourth round, get some more safeties and just DBs in general out here. Because if Al Harris and Maurice Lindquist are still going to be your secondary coaches, then I think that you need to go younger out there. Get some of these young, scrappy guys like how Trayvon Diggs in, and just keep developing. Now, I said it before. We don't know what's going to happen to Mike Nolan, whether he's going to be here or not. It really depends on how the Cowboys want to run their scheme. Me personally, I think that they should get a guy that's going to stay with this 4-3 because you have the personnel for it. You're going to have to get rid of a lot of this defense if you want to go run a 3-4. That's just my thing. Like I said, you can always do hybrid stuff, but you need an offense. You need a off season to plan for stuff like that whenever you want to do something intricate like that. But I mean, if Nolan does stay, he has to understand that if they're not gonna go open season on his defense and get rid of everybody and start over, it's probably not a wise thing to have him, because to me, he should have never been hired in the first place. I chatted with Tamira a little bit today. She's like, I'm probably the only one that doesn't mind Mike Nolan, and I get where she's coming from. I don't hate Mike Nolan. I just didn't like when he first came in here. He said, "Okay, we're gonna fit the scheme to the players, not the players to the scheme." Okay, so if that's the case, you did not do that because you came in here trying to do a 3-4, running straight 3-4 when these guys are 4-3. Even Everson Griffin was 4-3 when he was here. The only two guys on his defense that could probably prevail in a 3-4 is Alden Smith and Randy Gregory. Those are only two guys. You can do some hybrid things with them, but everybody else, they're just standard 4-3. Like, you look at our linebackers. All our linebackers are like my size. And that's when I played linebacker. That's what I said. I was never a guy. I would never be a 3-4 outside linebacker because that's like a defensive end. I'm not big enough. I'm not about to go toe to toe with no offensive lineman. I'm not doing that, bro. That's not my game. That ain't Jalen's game, and it definitely ain't Leighton Vander Esch's game. These are sideline to sideline type of guys, and if you're gonna run stuff like that, you got to keep it in that direction. So it's many different things that the Cowboys can go through with their directions that they want to do. Even with them picking 10th in the draft, they can stay right there and pick Surtain, or they can get some other guys, or they can trade back to the end of the round one, pick up another draft pick, because I think we already have 10, because we lost a lot of guys and we got some comp picks for those. I think we have 4 picks in the top 100. Trust me, we're gonna be good in the draft. We're gonna be all right. And if they get one or two, older veteran guys in free agency to come in here to help out too, that should help too. I'm all for them bringing back Gerald McCoy and giving him another shot and see what happens, because I really like what Gerald McCoy brings. I love his attitude. I love his mentality. I love the fact that he's all about helping the younger guys succeed. That should help with Tristan Hill and Dorrance Armstrong and some of those younger guys, and Neville Gallimore and Bradley and I help those guys come up. We've seen some spurts in Neville Gallimore. And I think that with a full off season, these young guys that we have are going to be even better next year. You even look on offense with CD Lamb. I think that our offense is going to be dynamic again with Dak back because, again, Dak knows his team. He knows his offense. He knows what he's doing. And you get a full offseason with Mike McCarthy coming in and implementing his offensive game plan and bringing in a fullback like we normally would have. It's definitely going to help these running backs out. Zeke gets a chance to rest that leg and be fresh for next season. So I'm looking forward to next season. I know some of you guys are like, "Oh, woe is me. This is the same shit every year. I'm tired of." But you know what? Win, lose, or draw. Always be a fan of your team. J. Cole said in this song, being more patient than a Browns fan, and that shit ain't no joke. The Browns have been sorry for many years, and look at them this year. They won, 11 games this year? And they're going to the playoffs. This is the first time they went to the playoffs in a long time. Tampa Bay, with now having Tom Brady, this is the best they've been in a long time. So, and then other teams, they used to be great, are not as great anymore, like the Patriots and stuff like that. So, every team is up and down. Like, it's just the way of football goes. Any given Sunday, any given year. So, Cowboys ain't the only one that has been a long time since they got a Super Bowl. So, it is what it is. We just have to make sure that the 49ers don't get another one and the Steelers don't get another one. Those are the two teams we got to worry about because they're the ones that got the Super Bowls right there with us. So with that being said, y'all, that's all I have. Let me know what y'all think. I still will be doing live streams this off season, like I said in my last video. There's still a lot to talk about. We'll be going into draft and there's going to be a lot of news coming out about the team. Oh, yeah, and one last thing. Jason Garrett, and I know some other YouTubers probably talked about this already, but Jason Garrett interviewing for the head coach position for the Chargers. Now, that's interesting. And I know us as Cowboy fans, we ain't really fond of Jason Garrett like that. Now, I will say he's definitely a better offensive coordinator than he is the actual head coach, but I don't know. For the Chargers with Justin Herbert over there, they got a young quarterback. They got some grooming they could do out there, so maybe he might be all right for them. Who knows? But the Chargers actually asked permission to the New York Giants for Jason Garrett to interview. Now that's deep. That's obviously something about Jason Garrett that the Chargers organization likes because they got rid of Lynn as the head coach. So maybe they get Jason Garrett over there and help out because if Jason Garrett goes over there, we won't have to worry about Jason Garrett in the division no more. We won't have to see Carrot Top across that field with the New York Giants. And it's funny because after his first year as an offensive coordinator with the New York Giants, he gets this opportunity to go. That's quite interesting. And like I said, he was requested. It wasn't like Jason Garrett reached out to the Chargers. They went and asked the Giants brass, could they get permission to interview Jason Garrett? And that's interesting to me. But like I said, he's a better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. But, it is what it is. I think McCarthy is going to be better next year because, again, he hasn't got a chance to grasp with this team. I think that with everything coming in, it just was a messed up situation. But I think we'll do better next year. The fact that we was not 4-12 and the fact that we was not 2-14, I guess when you look at that, 6-10 is not winning, but considering everything that happened with this team, it ain't all bad either. Because I try to look at the positive things with situations, especially with this type of situation, because you never know what you're gonna get in football. You never know how your injury is gonna go. We looked at last offseason, was like, oh damn, we're gonna be dynamic. Even the players is like, oh, we're going to have 1,000 yard receivers. Well, only one of them reached it. So it is what it is. But with that being said, y'all, that's what I have. Those of you that are new to the channel, don't be afraid, man. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell so you can get this content. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Have a good day.